Hello everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Secrets of Silicon Valley with your intrepid host, as always, Bradley Naranch, Neo Alpha Romeo Alpha Neo Charlie Hotel. I'm coming to you from beautiful Byington Vineyards and Winery in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And I'm beginning a series of 4 hot button political issue social media messages, which I'll be posting as always on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and tweeting about as well. These are the so-called third rail political issues that all serious political candidates and contenders need to address so that the American public and potential voters know where they stand. The first of these hot button issues that I'll be talking about today is cannabis and recreational drug use. The next will be abortion, followed by capital punishment, also known as the death penalty, and then followed by death with dignity, also known as euthanasia. And what I'll be doing is telling you something about my own personal relationship to these issues, and then transitioning in the second half to some policy recommendations. So to cannabis. Have I ever smoked marijuana? The answer is no. In fact, I've never smoked tobacco either, nor have I taken any recreational drug or abused any prescription drug. Probably the only drug that I've taken is Tylenol with codeine, along with some medication that I took in 2020 and 2021 following a misdiagnosis as a bipolar disorder, valproic acid, and something called olanzapine. At the moment, I take no medicine other than some herbal remedies, and I feel quite good about that. I use a combination of exercise, diet, and meditation and mindful breathing to control whatever conditions I have. But, however, my wife and I did, in fact, vote to legalize cannabis when it came up as a proposition in California. And we did, on several occasions, purchase cannabis tinctures, medicinal cannabis, as well as some edibles from 2 locations in California. One is in Mendocino County, a place called Hopland, and the other is in the city of Santa Cruz, which is fairly close to where I'm standing right now. Our primary interest was in CBD-rich tinctures to treat anxiety and to help with minor pain relief. What I found in the end is actually I can do a good job of controlling stress and anxiety and pain relief through other means, primarily through mindful breathing and through switching to a ketogenic diet, which minimizes the blood sugar spikes and inflammation associated with insulin production. The edible gummies we took were high in THC. Each gummy had 10 milligrams of THC, and when my wife and I did take them, we took them together. We split a gummy in half, so we each got 5 milligrams, and we did it at home because we didn't want to be out in public or to be driving a vehicle under the influence, because it's a serious issue. What I found personally is that my brain doesn't react particularly well to THC. I do have schizoaffective disorder, which is a rare condition that affects 0.3% of the population. And it does make one vulnerable under periods of stress to paranoid behavior, to paranoid ideas. And what I found is that THC just made me a bit too jumpy. It didn't mesh with my brain. So I no longer take any cannabis products, either CBD tinctures or recreational ones. That said, I do know that for a lot of Americans, cannabis is something significant for them. It helps them calm down. It's relaxing. We know that while it does have some potential negative health benefits, it's far less than nicotine-based products. And so my political position is that the federal government should work to decriminalize cannabis possession so that it no longer be a felony, so that it no longer clog up our court systems, and so that it no longer disenfranchise hundreds of thousands of potential American voters. So for me, it's a question of political freedom. And the federal government can act by decriminalizing cannabis, by rescheduling it. And they absolutely can work to study the effects of cannabis while driving and impose a taxation, a federal tax on all cannabis purchases, just as they currently do with tobacco. This can be regulated by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and the CDC can sponsor studies about the effects of driving or operating other vehicles while under the influence of particular THC high cannabis products. And just as we have limits on blood alcohol in this country that vary state by state, I think we can also do the same with cannabis. So it's important, I believe, that cannabis users are informed about the benefits and risks of taking that substance, and that we keep American roads and American citizens safe. There also should be sensible laws that limit the smoking of cannabis products in public for the same reason that we limit the smoking of tobacco products in public, because of the dangers of secondhand smoke. We do not want American citizens or others to be negatively impacted by a behavior like smoking cannabis. So I would say that my position is fairly progressive, but it's also very, very practical. I believe that the federal government should not outlaw substances, most substances, and that they should give their citizens the benefit of the doubt, provided that they provide good guidelines for proper use of substances that absolutely can have age restrictions. Just as tobacco purchases are limited to individuals 18 or older, I think the same can be done with cannabis. So that's my position. I no longer consume cannabis products. I never smoked, but I did use CBD tinctures and experimented with THC-rich edibles, and I no longer do it. But I do not judge others who choose differently. And as the next president of the United States, I want those individuals to know that I don't regard their behavior as unethical or illegal, but I will do everything in my power to make sure that when cannabis is legalized across more of our states, that it's done responsibly, effectively, and compassionately for all individuals. And that, in general, is how I want us to approach all hot-button issues. So this was my cannabis edition. And the next one will be abortion, followed by capital punishment, followed by death with dignity, euthanasia. These are potential third rail issues, but I believe that all serious political contenders for the highest office in this country need to speak honestly and openly about what they believe and what they think is best for the country. So again, this is Bradley Naranch, your host of Secrets at Silicon Valley, coming to you from Byington Vineyards and Winery in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Wishing you good day. Bradley out.